Moises Caicedo, Jurrien Timber, and Kai Havertz are the football players that we are talking about today. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being part of the Arsenal chapter. And make your point, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on whatever we've definitely got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. Right about here at the Arsenal chapter with me, your host, Abu Carls, as we definitely dedicated to bringing to you the latest from the camp of Arsenal. And we talking about football players, as I've already told you, the likes of Kai Havertz, and also not forgetting that the one and only Jurrien Timber, plus Moises Caicedo, all of them in the same podcast. So let's get the party rolling. Whom should we start with? Let's start with Moises Caicedo. You will remember that Moises Caicedo is a professional football player who plays as a defensive midfielder for Brighton and Hove and also the Ecuadorian national team. We'll remember that he's been playing for Brighton and Hove for some time, and he's been an excellent football player. And right about now, he's looking at a move away from the club, Brighton and Hove. You can get into the comment section and let us know what you think about this football player, whether Arsenal should definitely go on and get the football player. Anyway, anyway, I'm going to be giving you details on this transfer, the Moises Caicedo Arsenal transfer. You will be remember that Moises Caicedo is a hot cake right about now. He is being hunted for by quite a big number of football clubs. A big number of clubs want Moises Caicedo, but the question is Moises Caicedo into a move away from the club? That is the big question. Is Moises Caicedo into a move away from the club West Ham? Sorry, not West Ham, Brighton and Hove. You'll be remembered that Moises Caicedo was linked to the club Arsenal in the January transfer window, with Moises Caicedo going to his socials and saying that he is in for a move to the club Arsenal and requesting the club Brighton and Hove to make sure that they can get rid of him. And it will be remembered that still that Moises Caicedo was the very football player who requested himself went to Brighton and Hove management and told them, I'm not going to be playing for you next season. I want to move. But Brighton and Hove had sold some football players, had sold Leandro Trossard, had sold Marc Cucurella, and definitely that was a little bit hard for them to get his request moving, because he's one of the football players that they definitely were relying on. And the fact that Brighton and Hove finished in the 6th position, one of the football players that is regarded to be one of the contributors to the success that Brighton and Hove is enjoying, finishing in the 6th position, is the Brighton and Hove defensive midfielder Moises Caicedo. And right about now, Brighton and Hove has already set free one of their football players, and that is Alexis McAllister, who has signed. He signed is it last week or something like that. Already signed for the club Liverpool, and definitely that shows you that Brighton and Hove is into a sell. And right about now, they have already signed a few football players, and it is reportedly said that Brighton and Hove has already signed a football player who is going to be replacing the superstar Moises Caicedo. So Arsenal are willing and they are looking into the speed. As you already know, that actually quite a number of football clubs are interested in him, and they're already putting in bids. And one of the football clubs that are interested in Moises Caicedo is actually Manchester United, with Manchester United very interested in him. Manchester City saying they want him, but they have not done anything, Manchester City. And Chelsea saying they also need him. Chelsea has a big links with him, but the battle is definitely going to be between two clubs. The battle is going to be between Manchester not actually, between Manchester United, between Manchester United and Arsenal. With Chelsea, it's just a talk right about now, but you cannot count Chelsea off. You will be remember that Chelsea is a club that you cannot definitely count off, because Chelsea, when it comes to transfers, they always try and make sure that they get football players in whether by fair means or foul. It will be remembered that what happened in the last general transfer window was the worst thing for the club Arsenal. It will be remembered still that the likes of Mikhail Mudryk were hijacked. Mikhail Mudryk was 100% an Arsenal football player, but how things went, Arsenal lost Mikhail Mudryk, and that wasn't the best of things for the club Arsenal. And definitely that wasn't great. That was not the best of things for the club Arsenal. Mikhail Mudryk was heavily linked, and the scouts of Arsenal were the ones who found Mikhail Mudryk. But because Chelsea had quite a lot of money, they definitely went on and paid something like £100 million for Mikhail Mudryk to seal the deal. And Arsenal was not willing to put in quite a lot of money despite the fact that he was their main target. But they've had a good time. And we could see history repeating itself, but this has to be stopped. How can this be stopped? It definitely has to be stopped by making fast moves and very fast moves, making sure that things go on quite well for the clubs. What has to be for the club Arsenal? What has to be done is the Arsenal has to make sure that they get the football player quite fast. Make sure they sign the Brighton and Hove a football player very fast as they can. And we'll remember that Arsenal is preparing a bid for Moises Caicedo, and we hope things definitely will be going on quite well for Moises Caicedo and for the club Arsenal. Let's talk about yet another football player, interesting football player, a young defender, very good defender, and that is none other than Jurrien Timber. We'll remember that Jurrien Timber is an ex-football player. He's been playing for Ajax Amsterdam and also the Netherlands national team. And for some time, he's been linked to the club Arsenal. However, in the general transfer window, he was not linked to Arsenal. He was linked to a move to the club Manchester United. And right about now, there are limited links, very few links of the football player moving to Manchester United. Though Eric Ten Hag came out and said he still has a bit of interest. He's not very much into this transfer for some reason. I think possibly maybe if he had competition or stuff, but he is not very much into this transfer. The club that is very much into this transfer is Arsenal. Mikel Arteta has said he needs reinforcement in his back section, and right about now we could definitely be seeing him making a reinforcement, getting this football player in the back section. So Jurrien Timber is well known for his strength and also his tackling ability that is definitely quite good. His tackles are always perfect, on point. He really makes mistakes, and that's the sort of defender you definitely need for your club. Let us know what you definitely think about Jurrien Timber and him joining the club Arsenal. As Arsenal put in their first bid, and the first bid was rejected, and Arsenal is now putting a second bid, is preparing the second bid, and everything is prepared to let things flow. Everything is definitely most likely going to be taking place quite well for the club Arsenal. So when it comes to this football player, you will remember that things are going on quite well for Jurrien Timber and him moving to the club Arsenal. Everything is set. We could be seeing a medical done very soon. So you can go on and let us know what you definitely think about this transfer and what you think about Jurrien Timber. Do you think it could possibly fit in quite well in the back section of Arsenal, or you think it's going to be something a little bit difficult for the football player? And right about now, let's head into the other transfer. And who is this that we are definitely going to be talking about? You already know he's down there on your screen, and that's number 3 of the day, and that is Kai Havertz. For some reason, the Kai Havertz transfer has gone beyond where it was supposed to be, but things are positive for the club Arsenal. And Kai Havertz, I've got great news for you if you're a Kai Havertz fan, and if you are an Arsenal fan who loves Kai Havertz, I've brought great news for you. All you need to do is simple: subscribe, ring that notification bell so that you do not lose out on whatever we've always got to bring to you. Anyway, let's get the party rolling. What is happening with Kai Havertz? It will be remembered that Arsenal was linked to Kai Havertz for some time, but right about now, the links are very strong with the club that he plays for, Chelsea, rejecting 2 consecutive bids, and also rejecting the third bids. It's been three bids that have been in for the football player. Kai Havertz has had three wonderful bids, but they have been rejected, and all of them have been rejected. But Arsenal is not giving up. Mikel Arteta is definitely not giving up, and neither is Edu Gaspar giving up. They're saying he is a football player to have. However, Arsenal have decided that most likely going to be having free talks with the management at Chelsea, so that things go on quite well, much more than they are already going on. But it is said from close sources, from big sources inside the club, it is said that Arsenal has already agreed a move to sign him, and everything is almost done. Almost done. We could most likely be seeing, because he's agreed the move and he wants the move. Kai Havertz wants the move more than anybody else. So we could definitely be seeing the move happening sooner than later. And once this is a done deal, we'll be the first people to bring it to you straight as it comes in. Please subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on whatever with the first go to bring to, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related, right up here at the Arsenal chapter with me, your host, Abu Carls, as I tell thank you and goodbye for now.